everyone, so at the moment we're in the van and on our way to Washington DC to check out that. Can't wait for that. But today we're going to go over the last week and where we've been in the van and what we've been up to and what we've been seeing. So we started last week in Rhode Island. We stopped in at Newport last week just for a couple of hours, and while we were there we did the cliff walk in Newport, which takes you along the ocean. It has beautiful big houses and mansions along there, so you can see how the other half live. There's some famous spots along there as well, some famous houses.
The Breakers.
The Breakers, which is...
Famous. Pretty good.
Yeah, but
and all the other ones?
There's little signs along the way that tell you about each spot, and yeah, it's just worth it just to see the houses. They're absolutely incredible. Beautiful views of the ocean. The day that we were there, it was beautiful and sunny, and it wasn't warm. It was about 6 degrees. We took photos for the Pilates website and it looks like it's beautiful and warm. My mum said to me, oh wow, the weather must be nice, and it was, but yeah, it's freezing, so but that was really fun. It was a nice little stop just to stretch our legs and get out of the van. And then after that we drove on to, where did we drive on to?
Connecticut. Stayed in Connecticut that night.
Yeah, stayed in Connecticut, and that was really good. We stayed at the Walmart that night.
Yeah, I think we
gotta love Walmart. It's the best. And after that we then drove on to Jersey.
So we had to get a bit of stuff done to the van.
Yeah.
Just spending this amount of time on the road, there's always things that come loose. We had to get one of the hatches repaired because that had just come a bit loose, a couple of drawers, but only took a couple of hours and we're good to go. Because
yeah, there's potholes and there's all sorts of rough roads and everything. You're literally carrying a house around with you, so yeah. He was actually really surprised that more wasn't wrong with the van. So we've been doing pretty good, you know. We could make a whole video about all the things that have gone wrong. I think we should actually. It'd be pretty funny. Things like not closing doors and microwave trays flying across the room and smashing, but that's a whole other story. So we got the van repaired, and then the next day we went to Jersey Shore, Seaside Heights, where they filmed the reality TV show, and that was so good. I was so surprised. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was going to be like, but it's so beautiful there. It's like I would go there for a summer holiday anytime, even. Yeah.
It was a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Yeah, it was. It was bigger. The boardwalk's huge. All the shops along there were beautiful, and it reminded me of the 50s, like all the ice cream shops and the diners, and yeah, it was really nice. So we took another couple of photos there, and yeah, just walked in the sunshine. It was really warm and nice that day.
Yeah, it was good. It's been a bit unseasonably warm, so we're in mid-November, so while still a bit cold, I think a lot of people we've spoken to said it's been unseasonably warm, which has been nice.
It's been really nice, yeah. And of course we had to visit the Jersey Shore house where they filmed the show. Tim's been fist pumping ever since. He only just stopped this morning, so full week of fist pumping. So after we went to Jersey Shore, we then drove on to, see, Tim's better at remembering all this than me.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, yes.
We just did a sort of drive by.
Yeah, we just drove through. We didn't actually stop in Atlantic City, but it was really interesting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day it was booming, and now it's very interesting to see some of these areas, yeah, where they're on a bit of a, yeah, they're going a bit quiet. I don't think we're the only one doing drive-bys that day. That way. Oh god. So after Atlantic City, we then drove on to Philadelphia. So we spent 2 days in Philly. The first day we went to all the really nice historic sites. It reminded me a little bit of Boston. There's lots of history there, lots of things to see. It's where they signed the Declaration of Independence and wrote the Constitution. So we went and saw all those sites, and yeah, it was a really nice day. We just wandered around the whole city and walked around to all the sites.
Yeah, like Independence Hall, Liberty Bell. All of it sort of enclosed. We went to the Rocky Steps, of course.
The Rocky Steps, yeah, how could I forget? So, yeah, we went and visited where they filmed that famous scene in Rocky. Tim reenacted it, which was awesome.
was pretty funny. Like, I got to ran up the top, and then there was all these labourers up the top, so I chickened out to them, jumping around. Just had to act all cool.
And then the next day, Tim did a little bit of admin around the city while I went to the hairdressers for the first time in about 6 months, which was an absolute treat. That was awesome. And yeah, and then we were on to our next stop. And we drove on to that. Did we drive that afternoon, or did we stay in Philadelphia?
No, we drove that afternoon, so we drove through Delaware.
Yes, we drove through Delaware, which, number one, so that we can say that we've been to that state, and number two, because Wayne's World is my favourite movie in the whole wide world, and I just wanted to stop there and say that famous quote. So, oh hey, I'm in Delaware.
Is it that famous?
Yeah, to me it is. It's important to me. It was at the top of my bucket list. So then we just drove through Delaware. When we drive through states, we always get out of the car, stand there, give each other a high five just to say that we've stood there.
So that's only really 2 states have done that, I think.
Yeah, and we've only had to do that in 2 states.
North Dakota and Delaware.
North Dakota and Delaware, yeah. So every other state we've actually either stayed in or we've explored. So yeah, but we have to hit every state.
Then we went up to Lancaster.
And that was honestly one of my favourite things that we've done so far. I know I say that a lot, but this really was. So Lancaster County is Amish land. So all the Amish, there's about 35,000 that live there, and we did a tour first of an Amish house, seeing how they live, and then we actually did like a backcountry tour where they actually drive you through
8.4 miles.
Where they live, and you go to some shops that they run, and I am obsessed with them. Like, I want to be Amish. I actually asked the tour guide if you have to be born Amish to become one, and she said you do, so that destroyed our dream of my dream of becoming Amish. So yeah, they speak German. I didn't know that. They speak their own little language to each other, like it's Pennsylvanian Dutch they call it. And they all dress a certain way and have no electricity, no hookups. They don't have cars, they have horses and carts. They ride scooters around town to get around the place. They are just amazing. Like it's like stepping back in time, and the farms are so beautiful, and yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was really cool just to see.
Pretzels.
Oh, pretzels, yes. One of the shops that we went to, the girls were making these soft pretzels, and they were amazing. Like the most delicious things I've ever seen in my life. We were actually fighting each other for them. So after the Amish tour, we actually stopped it at the farmers markets nearby, where some of the Amish have stalls, and that was really cool as well, just to see them just doing their thing. I just couldn't get enough of it. I didn't want to leave. So after the farmers markets, we then drove on to Gettysburg.
Yeah, Gettysburg.
Yeah, and that was something that Tim had really wanted to see, and I sort of didn't know much about, but now that we've seen it and we went to the museum, it was so interesting. It was information overload. The museum was huge, but the Battle of Gettysburg and everything attached to it, the civil rights and what they fought for, and even just Abraham Lincoln's story is
pretty fascinating.
So fascinating and so amazing. Like, you know, even after they fought that war, they still fought for so long afterwards to have any rights. So yeah, it was pretty eye-opening and pretty incredible, and a really good look at American history as well. I really enjoyed that.
After sort of Boston, Philly, Gettysburg, learn a lot. It has been a bit of information overload.
Yeah, it's been a lot of history this week. It's been really, really interesting. So
you start to get a sense of why Americans are so patriotic.
That's so true, yeah. And highly recommend the places that we've gone this week. If you are interested in American history, you know, for Aussies or Americans or anyone, you know, if you're interested in that sort of thing, this little road trip that we've done this week has been incredible. And then after Gettysburg, we
drove through Baltimore.
Yeah, we drove through Baltimore. We are huge fans of the podcast Undisclosed. We've actually been listening to it on Serial, on our long drive. So first we listened to Serial about Adnan Syed's case, and then we listened to the Undisclosed series about it as well. So when we were in Baltimore, we actually drove past Woodland High where it all happened, and we were going to drive to Lincoln Park, but the van was a bit big for some of the streets, and it was a pretty dodgy area. We were pretty sketchy that night, and we were kind of
we got out of there.
We got out of there pretty quickly, let's just say that. So we had to have a look at that, and it was really cool to see, you know, what the area they were talking about, and even, you know, if you listen to it, where the library was in relation to the school and all that sort of thing. So if you are looking for a good podcast, Serial Undisclosed. And then after that we drove on to the campsite where we stayed yesterday, just had a bit of a work chill day, and now we're on to the next week, Washington DC. So we'll be updating you on all of that next week. If you have any questions about anything that we've done, or you want to know more about any of the areas that we've been to, what else we did, just let us know. Love hearing what you think in your comments. It's been awesome so far. We're so stoked with what everyone said about the first Van Diaries vlog that we put up last week. So look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks guys.
See you guys.
Bye.